So I think the really special thing about the contact center is it's so real time. It's always in the moment. It's also one of the most interesting areas of any business. You give me the contact center versus any other part of the business any day. You know, I spent 20 years now in and around the contact center. And the thing I love about having to automate in this world is that there's so much variation. Every contact, whether it's a call, a text message, an email, it's always likely to be different. And you generally have somebody on the end of that who's expecting a resolution. And so automating in the contact center is different because it has to be generally there in real time. And every second that automation is delayed or hasn't given an answer to the agent, it's dead time for the customer. And I don't know whether you've ever noticed, but if you're on hold or you're listening to silence for 30 seconds on the phone, I guarantee it feels like 5 minutes. It just feels like it's a long time. And so every second really does count. Of course, different technology types as well. So agent assist, co-pilots, speech and text analytics, not just post, but actually real time on the phone, listening to sentiment, understanding, capturing promises that are made by both agent and customer. All of these things are just technologies, AI-infused technologies that you just don't need in other parts of the business. And so, you know, that's the reason why I think automation in the contact center is different. It does use different tools. It can use some of the same, but it is a very special place, and we'll continue, I think, to see lots of innovation, especially with generative AI and what's happening in that space. Thoughts?
Well, I like to think of the contact center as a petri dish for AI. There are so many things, as you pointed out, that you can do in the contact center. So you've got real-time, predictive, next best action. You've got sentiment, as you said. You've got generative AI producing scripts for the agent to engage with the customer. You've got the history of past interactions with customers that you can use in determining how they should be responding. You've got the history of the individual customer, which may be different from other customers. And so you've got to take all that into consideration. And so it really is, I'll say, the culmination of all these different things that you want to incorporate into an interaction with the customer. So from that perspective, I think it is different, whereas many other use cases are much more pointed. Yep. You know, predictive maintenance. There's no customers, there's no agents involved in that. But in the contact center, you've got to deal with all these issues that you've identified.
Exactly.